After the cancellation of the Xbox exclusive Scalebound, Platinum decided to take the elements of that game and pitch a project to Nintendo, which started off at a fantasy setting but then later changed it to a cyberpunk setting. Then on February 13th of this year, Platinum showed up the title at Nintendo's first Direct of 2019, directed by lead designer of Nier Automata Takeshi Tora and supervised by Devil May Cry and Bayonetta creator Hideki Kamiya. Now that the game had arrived faster than the FBI knocking down on my door, will you be enlisting in this futuristic police force? Welcome to the HUD everyone, I'm Zacharoni, and today I'll be a waiter who will be going through some of the features the game has to offer. So without further ado, please be seated, and here are the toppings on Astral Chain. Set in the distant future, and let's hope this will never happen, humanity had come under siege by an alien race known as the Chimeras, who has the ability to turn any living thing into one of them just by spreading their special red matter throughout the whole planet. Now it's the year 2078, and the remaining survivors of humanity now reserves in the Ark, a city full of bright light, holographic advertisements, and one remaining subway, which is probably the only endangered fast food sandwich district. I mean, where else am I going to get my favorite meatball marinara soda if that place goes extinct exactly? However, that didn't stop the Chimeras from abducting people throughout the city. So to combat these minor touches is the police task force of Neuron, who can use Chimeras with special chains to alter their behavior and make them fight for them, which they name them Legions. You are one of the twins of Captain Maximilius Howard, who you get to customize his or her hair, eyes, and skin, while the other will be your partner, who will be doing all the talking throughout the whole game, and will be known as Akira. And as our heroes progress through the story, they will soon discover the mystery of the Chimeras and their reasoning for invading the city, while their mascot, Lappy, who is probably the new MacGuffin of the future, will give them encouragement throughout their adventure, while teaching the kids the importance of safety, and to not go out late at night in case of a Chimera attack. And I thought random thugs were terrible in this. Astral Chain is a linear action game similar to Platinum Games' previous titles like Bayonetta and Nier Automata, but set in a cyberpunk city. When you start the game up, you are presented with two characters to choose from, and then you are straight into the action, showing you the basics of combat and your legion that acts as your companion in battle. Then in the second chapter, you are given training on how to use your legion, and then in the third chapter, Lappy will give you a tour of your headquarters. Here you can practice combat in the training room, upgrade your weaponry from Tapathy, for a small profit of course, and re-customize your character in the locker rooms. The game presents itself in chapters, which are called files, where you need to do detective work to proceed through the story, and then you are presented with scenarios like defeating enemies and bosses that are twice the size as you. Your main objective is highlighted in orange on the minimap, but there are also other two markers to look out for. Red ones are major cases that involve extra fights and sealing portals up, while the blue ones are side cases involving capturing criminals or shooting down targets back at HQ. And at the end of each mission, you are given duty points on how well you did and how many cases you have completed, which will increase your character's health, and you are given new accessories to customize your character. You also get a letter grade for each case and overall chapter, but they are only available if you switch the difficulty from the default casual to the platinum standard mode that is recommended to fans of the action genre. Plus, there are also in-game achievements that will give you extra rewards as well, like completing a set of side cases or taking pictures of anyone who are important to the game, including enemies. From the bright city of the Ark to the corrupted land of the Astral Plane, the game presents itself with anime-style 3D graphics that runs at 30 frames per second with loading times lasting under 20 seconds. The soundtrack is composed by Satoshi Igarashi, which featured orchestral music during dramatic scenes, metal for some of the battles, and electronica during those calm and quiet moments in the game. For the voice cast, it featured Alex Lee and Biana Nikabaka as the player and Akira Howard, Owen Thomas as Maximilian Howard, Jordan Reynolds as Jin Wong, Elizabeth Maxwell as Alicia Lopez, Emma Eldridge as Oliver Espinoza, Cassandra Lee Morris as Marie Wez, Kyle McCarley as Hale Clark, Joe J. Thomas as Josepha Kelveth, and Rebecca Davis as Jenna Anderson. As for options, you can alter the brightness from 1 to 10, turn vibration on and off, autoplay voice and silent text, set text display from scroll to instant, alter the camera's X and Y axis, set the rotation speed, adjust the volume for music, sound effects, and voices, set the VoIP languages from English to Japanese, and change the display text to 10 languages. In past Platinum titles, we had weapons equipped to our hands and feet, cutting enemies up as a cyborg ninja, and recruiting civilians for a superhero group. But in Astral Chain, you are controlling two characters at the same time, your custom character and your Legion, which is tied to the left trigger. For your custom character, you can sprint, attack, and dodge, but if you dodge their attacks before it's about to land, a glowing symbol will appear, and this is your opportunity to do a counter attack for extra damage by pressing the attack trigger, or the attack button if you change the controller types. You have three main weapons that you can switch with the up and down D-pad. The baton is a small but quick melee weapon that is good against small enemies. The blaster is a pistol that is highly recommended for flying enemies, and the gladius is a massive cleaver that is slow but effective against big hulking enemies. Your main character's health is displayed on the top left corner, and you can refill it by using healing items, and you can also use grenades on enemies as well. But if you attack an enemy from behind, you can do more damage indicated by the number that change to a gold color, and that's where the main mechanic of the game comes into play. Your Legion, which you can summon by pressing the left trigger, and they automatically attack enemies if you send them out or if they are close to them. However, you need to keep an eye on the meter that is next to the protagonist, which slowly depleted when you have your Legion out on the field for too long, and it goes down fast when it takes damage, so it's wise to store them away until the meter is charged again, and then you can let them out once it's full. You can also control your Legion by holding down the left trigger and using the right analog stick, and you can jump to where they are by pressing the right trigger, but you only have a limited range to use them depending on how long the chain is. But if you and your Legion get the chain around multiple enemies, you can lock them into position for a few seconds, and you can do a counter attack by letting the enemy run into the chain, and then you can throw them back in the opposite direction, leaving them temporarily stunned. You start off with the Sword Legion, and as you progress through the story, you unlock more Legions that play differently to one another, like the Archer, who is good with range attacks, while the Arms Legion can pick up stuff and throw them at enemies, as well as being a heavy hitter. Each Legion has its own skill tree that you can increase their attack and defense, and unlocking special abilities that you can equip in the Legion skill menu that are activated while holding down the left trigger. Finally, all Legions have their own action ability, like the Archer can be used in first person to shoot down enemies, while the Beast Legion allowed you to hitch a ride on him to travel the trickiest sections in the game. The game can be played with a second player locally, but it requires you to use the Joy-Cons, so you have to do some communications with your partner, because not only they are controlling the Legions, but also the camera as well. Astral Chain will cost you £49.99, both retail and digitally. That requires 188 megabytes of storage, while at digital it requires 9.8 gigabytes of storage. As for future content, Platinum had just announced that there won't be any DLC in the upcoming future, but they say that they might do a sequel if the game sells well. Well, that's some of the features that I can tell you right now, but if there are some that I have missed, let me know in the comments, and I hope that will give you an idea of what you'll be getting for your money. Check back with me later, and I'll tell you what I think of Astral Chain in a second helpings video, and if you like what you see, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. But until then, I'm Zacharoni. Enjoy your pizza, and I'll see you next time.